3, 2,
and
and
a 3,
and a 2, and a 1,
and we're back with another edition
with
of...
another edition of
It's a motherfucking opinion, man. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a... Welcome back. We are back.
All right.
Fuck, just have one person do the intro.
No, I like both of us, but I like we need to consistently say, that's your opinion, man.
Okay.
I like both.
And we're back.
With
another edition of
that's your opinion, man.
Okay.
Right.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a...
What are we going to do about the other generation? How will we ever communicate without communication? When we are using words some other way.
They're much too big to try to dig.
And
we're back. All right.
With another edition of...
That's
your opinion, man.
Perfect. All right. Yay. There we go. We got that
God
shit.
damn
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Fuck me. This is stupid as shit.
It's the best.
This is what we do on a Friday.
This is what we do on a Friday night. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's great. Oh shit.
Yeah. So
we're back, you guys.
We are very happy to have you come back into our lives here.
We appreciate you listeners and
each and every one of you.
Your
soft, supple skin. It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again.
What's funny is I recently shared a meme of the Buffalo Bill. And it's the yeah, sure, you can come on in. I got Pokemon in the back, where he's got the door open.
I didn't see that.
No, oh fuck. I'll send it to you. So
I see you're sharing. You have a second family. You're sharing memes with. I thought I was special.
Yeah. What's funny is I feel like a lot of my phone is just shit ton of saved memes.
Yeah,
it's just really like
it's like I know it's gonna be an occasion where this is gonna work.
What's so funny is I see it and then I just like save it. It's just kind of crazy.
I can't believe the staying power of memes.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's humor like encapsulated.
I love memes.
It's amazing. So, well, welcome back, everyone. We like to thank you for listening again. Of course, to That's Your Opinion, man.
Continuously listening.
Continually going strong with
this is insane.
Non-stop content.
Comedy, action, news, reports,
romance.
That sounded like an actual thing there.
Yes.
There you go.
Rated R.
Rated X.
Rated X. Rated E for everyone.
We're all, even the listeners, will feel sticky after. That's nasty.
Oh my God.
Okay, there we go. Yep.
It's my dream to cream.
What the
hell was that?
Fuck was that?
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Just because something rhymes doesn't mean you have to say it.
That's it, yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's...
You should
guys...
say that when you're climaxing.
Say it on your...
It's my dream to cream.
Wait, why would you ever say that climaxing? I'm coming over. It's my dream to cream. God. Oh, fuck. All right.
That's how you make the news.
That's how you make the news. Well, he said... while he's on top of me, it's my dream to cream. Yeah, and that's when I never talked to him again.
Serial rapist who can't be seen. Okay. Rape jokes aren't funny.
Rape jokes,
okay.
All right. Well,
look at what we're going to talk about now.
It's okay.
Fucking intro.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about our weeks. Andrew, how was your week?
I canceled a vacation to continue to work this week. So that's how my week went.
Attaboy. Where were you gonna go?
Aruba.
You were deciding on like a few things.
I was going to drive down to Nashville, Tennessee. Check that place out.
Mm-hmm.
It's south of here. And yes, that was my only my only prerequisite for my drive. I wanted a car ride.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go south.
But
that was it.
I thought you were debating though on like, do I go to LA or do I go to Nashville?
It was between LA or Nashville.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go to LA now on at the end of the month.
Man,
2 weeks from now.
So I really liked LA.
I've never been.
It was cool. It's very novel. Depending on, I think it's important if you know where you're gonna go. Like you know where you want to go. No, I mean like because I remember there was when I went, I was super still into Raga Jungle, and they had its own record store.
Okay.
That only had like electronica, D&B, drum and bass.
Okay.
And it was so awesome. It was like a small little place that went upstairs. It was really fucking cool, but it's like there's a small little thing, and like most people don't know unless you're into it. So the strip is okay. A lot of homeless. It was worse
a lot of public shitting going on. Apparently they have an interactive map where you can actually post where shit is.
Hey,
that's not a joke.
Oh man. What's cool though is you can go up and down the strip and you can get weed. It's great.
Well, pot's legal in California now.
Is it actually? Oh,
it's actually legal.
So
now.
I have a friend. She used to be into selling clones.
Oh, like plant clones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Apparently ship them out, seeds, whatever. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Interesting. They were talking about how California, the taxes are so high that there's still such a market, an underground market is still like thriving because they're just undercutting these normal businesses. Yeah. Because California, I don't know what you growing up. Whenever we got good stuff in Central Illinois, it came from California.
Okay, yeah,
absolutely, yeah. I remember the guy I was getting it from back then. I don't smoke pot anymore, but I smoked pot back in the day. The guy we got it from, when he got pinched, everyone was dry. Literally everybody. So I was like, oh my god, he was supplying like everybody.
I was lucky enough to befriend someone who actually supplied a lot of really good shit. And it was great. He also dabbled in what do you call it, psychedelics, and also the synthetic, and I actually like producing his own. So like I remember
he was making his own.
Well, yeah, so there was a lot of like acid, like whatever, so that was way back in the day. Yeah,
I don't trust. I don't.
No.
I don't trust it.
No, he was very smart. No, he. It wasn't like
still acid is just. It's like it's household cleaners and shit like that. What is it?
No. He was able to actually get a connect to actual chemicals. So like he.
Well, yeah, no, it's chemicals though.
No, but
you're tripping balls on chemicals. Fuck that.
Well, that's everything. That's what it is. That's anything.
You eat a magic mushroom, it's different. In my brain, it's different because it's growing. It's a natural thing.
THC is a
natural
chemical,
thing.
But it's
a natural thing. It wasn't made in some fucking lab,
Well,
that's smoking a plant. God gave it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
that's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he also gave us bee stings, but
what's so funny though, you say it's like unnatural, but everything is natural when you. There is. I love that. It is all.
Acid is not natural.
What?
Acid is not a natural occurring substance in America.
Dimethyltryptamine is, but yeah, you have to go through.
Jesus Christ!
Everything is
Jesse. Let's cook.
Jesse, let's fucking cook. Yeah,
let's cook.
Speaking of cooking, let's talk about what your beer that you cooked up, Andrew. When you smell it, your beer, it smells great. It's got like nice little fruitiness to it, but of course that's from the hops. But ultimately, it's a great, easy drinking beer.
It was very whenever good. I taste it, I'm like, is it supposed to taste like that, or am I killing myself?
Yeah, is this poison?
Am I slowly dying?
Is this poison? Yeah.
Like I always wonder that. But I drank one 2 days ago.
Yep.
Felt fine after. I was like, I'm good to go. We're good.
That's what all beers are.
After I drank half of it, and I was like, I can still see. I texted my sister, and I was like, hey, you can drink it. It's good.
You're like, hey, can you see?
Can you see right now? Who am I?
So I didn't post on the our website, you guys. We do actually have altogether. We have 3 beers that we are trying for beer of the week. Beer of the week.
Beer of the week. We will be adding more production.
We're like this.
I'm actually really excited for the topic, but we will unveil that.
Yes,
maybe next week. Who knows?
So the first beer of the week, you guys, is Dark Helmet Coffee Schwarz. Okay.
And that's
and-
this one right here.
Yeah, it is local.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. It is brewed and packaged by Clockworks Brewing,
Where's that located? Do you
Minnesota, Minneapolis.
know? Minneapolis.
Very local.
Okay. What are your initial reactions, Chris, to this? Or I guess it's a coffee porter.
So no, it's a dark beer made with boutique roasted beans from fair trade farms on the eastern slopes of the Aberdares range. I don't know.
I already want to go tell them
It's
go fuck yourself.
fucking Kenya. Yeah,
Fuck.
it's like dude,
It's the same place Folger gets their
it's
beans.
fucking
Okay.
Folgers coffee.
Yep,
bean.
it's fucking Folgers.
Yeah. Underwhelming.
It sucks.
Underwhelming.
It's one of the. It's like watered down.
Well, we've literally had several beers that we've had today, but it's okay.
That sucks.
It's not that good.
That's
Yeah.
well, maybe it's a style of beer.
I'm sorry.
What kind of it's a Schwartz?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an old style.
I don't know. All I know is I'm so used to. I feel like there's a lot of people that I love fucking coffee. I love fucking coffee.
You love fucking coffee.
No, I mean, no. There's so many beers out there. I love coffee beers, and there's so many. I originally started drinking coffee beers from stouts, like the added coffee to stouts.
Yeah.
Great, flavorful, amazing beers. That, of course, the alcohol percentage of is higher. But what's great now is they're coming out with like blondes, or they're coming out with like ales that have introduced coffees, which is so good and less alcohol percentage, which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Give me all the coffee beers.
In reading what a Schwartz beer is, so Schwartz is German for black beer. That's it.
So it's
So
apparently it's a German styled porter.
Well, I wouldn't say it's close to a porter. It's supposed to be a subdued. It's the Bud Light of the dark beers.
So it's essentially it's a
And I think that's
they
a good
use
way
a
to
lot of
describe
dark grains basically. So that I would say I'm gonna rate this. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5.
I'm torn because it's a style of beer that I'm not familiar with, and it's a style of beer I don't like. They could have done this beer perfectly. This could have been exactly what they wanted to have.
Yeah.
That beer we had at that bar in New York, it was light. You ordered light beer or dark beer?
Yeah.
Is it similar to
love
this?
it. God,
I think it's close to
no.
this.
I think that dark beer that we had in New York was more of like almost like a Northeast kind of like darker beer. It's more of like a brown darker beer.
I suppose.
Not really like a stout or a porter.
I would say if
you're
you're wanting something without much characteristic, a sipper beer,
it's smooth.
maybe this is good for fishing.
Yeah.
Maybe this is good for fishing.
Yeah.
I
think what's great about this though,
but
it's more of an all day. It is actually the ABV is actually 4.1%.
okay.
So a lot of flavor.
It's an all day beer.
It's
an all day
like
beer.
a coffee beer, which is great.
I would say fall time fishing. Yeah, I could drink this all day. But it's a 2.1 for me.
Excellent. So then the next one, holy shit. This is called Hammer Heart Brewing Company. And it's an IRE. So it's a red ale with cherries added to it.
Okay, and that's this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So going from that, that's not bad. It's a red ale. We've had many type of beers. So
it's almost like a sour.
I feel like
it's almost like a sour.
So it's a red ale and then also brewed with cherries. So it's not bad. It's definitely a heavier beer. It feels like
that's the thing. Is like the flavor is good, but it's so heavy.
Yeah.
If I was to drink this, I would want to drink it on a really hot day. I don't think I could do that.
Hell no.
It's too heavy.
It was very dark. You'll see the picture. I'm like, fuck yeah, this seems fucking cool as shit.
Yeah,
so,
it's a cool bottle.
It's
a cool bottle.
It comes
tastes
in
good.
little pints. So, anyways, I would say 2.5 out of 5.
2.5.
2.5 out of 5.
I would rate this a 2.3.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah,
a little disappointing this week, but that's
fair.
okay.
All right,
Chris, what would you rate my beer?
You know what, man? Give me 1 second. Dude, solid 3.5.
I go 3.3.
I'd say
3.2.
3.5. No, because it's
I go 3.2.
the drinkability. It's decently smooth.
I got 30
and
of them.
Yeah. What?
I got 30 of them out of that batch.
Whoa, shit! Good. Fucking
more
haul,
than
dude.
normal. Yeah.
All right.
If you
so,
brew beer, you can get really good beer for about $1 a beer.
Fuck yeah! No,
instead
it's
of
great.
paying
It's great.
like
Well, what's so
$2,
great
$3.
about homebrew too is that like you're able to drink your own beers and
Exactly.
share with your friends.
Yep,
so.
yep. I shouldn't have told you I had brewed that.
No,
Fuck.
no. What are you doing? Like, yeah, no.
His initial reaction I didn't tell him. Yes. So I guess we can.
Let's play just the tip.
Of the
Of the
topic.
topic. Let's fucking get into it. So speaking of beer that we're trying,
Oh yes.
there was a big thing happening. I would say a merger,
The
correct?
merger. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Kind of crazy.
Between Dogfish Head Brewing, and then also it's Boston Beer Company.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
They make Samuel Adams.
So Sam Adams, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so Sam Adams, I think, has been kind of before all of this big microbrew bang. You
Yep,
know,
yep.
Sam Adams has always kind of been, I would say that,
forefront.
yeah, I would say
Yeah.
of the micro brews, even though it's a macro brew, but like still, like, yeah,
It's like the micro brew you buy at Walmart.
straight up.
Honestly,
Yes,
that's how I see it.
I think that's a
Yeah.
great way of describing. Yeah,
Are they craft beer? Would you call them craft beer?
no,
I wouldn't either.
no.
If we call Sam Adams craft beer, then we have to call Coors.
But what's so great though is, and I think this is smart of Sam Adams, is the marriage now with a true craft beer, which is Dogfish Head.
I've never had Dogfish Head.
What?
Yeah.
So my
We'll get
first
Dogfish Head next
experience of Dogfish Head brewing
Mhm.
actually was in Delaware,
Yeah.
in Ocean City, Maryland.
Okay. Yeah. yeah.
It was a huge. So of course it's really big on the East Coast.
Yeah. It's in Delaware.
Everywhere,
Is
yeah.
where it's located. Yep. Yep.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Delaware's where it's
interesting.
located.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
$300 million merger.
So
which
altogether,
is insane.
which is crazy. Yep. And then also, so I remember we were going over a few facts and whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it sounded like the owners and their families.
The owner and the owner's family of Dogfish Head received
$127 million.
yes,
127
in
point
shares
in
of
shares. Yeah.
Boston Beer Company.
Yes, which is a crazy amount.
172 million.
Yeah. That's,
Brewing beer.
yeah.
Shit's insane.
And like I think it's really cool is to be a microbrew all of a sudden, like, and so I heard that actually the founder of Dogfish Head
Yep.
literally like went to college and like made like a year plan and then fucking started it,
Yeah.
like a year plan and then started it. And then
Fuck.
just, I'm like, holy shit.
Now he's
How
a
fucking awesome.
millionaire.
Yeah. It's
Fuck.
awesome. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's successful. Congrats.
Yeah.
You know.
That was
That's about
I,
it.
I feel like I don't believe you.
I mean, it's not craft beer.
Dogfish Head?
I don't know. Maybe it is craft beer. Maybe just because it's popular shouldn't relate to the craft.
No, listen. Dogfish Head beer. They have the 90-minute IPA, the 60-minute. It's fucking great beers. I loved it.
Have you had Budweiser Copper Top
Shut
Lager?
the fuck up.
It's actually really fucking
I
good.
know it's great.
It's
Yes,
really
yes.
fucking
but
good.
that's
Actually,
them trying to go after.
I had a Bud Light Lime. You were there with me. I had a Bud Light Lime, and I was like, "This is fucking good."
It's delicious. It's good. It's
I was like,
fucking
"I
good.
could drink this all day."
It's fucking
you know,
good. Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
sweet, but it's got the
Fuck,
citruses to it.
No, seriously, no, it's great. Anyways, Dogfish Head's been around for a while. Great microbrews. I'm sorry, especially with the IPA realm.
Yeah.
Like they've done it solid and they've been consistent.
Craft beer
It's
is chic now.
So, say that again.
Craft beer is chic now.
Is it nowadays? Now I don't think it is.
I think it's going down
I think
now.
it's pop culture now.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Like it's it's popular now. It's
Oh,
cool.
gotcha.
It's trendy.
Well, chic, I feel like is like trendy.
Yeah.
But I feel like IPAs now or whatever, like they're not. It's the norm now. But-
Fun fact, chic. The word chic is a French word that comes from how the French described the German uniforms in World War II.
Interesting. Boom, look at that.
You may have captured Paris, but your uniforms look like chic.
Yeah.
That's an actual thing.
Oh, that's Oh, holy shit!
I've been sitting on that joke for so long.
That is good though. Yeah. So I mean, so what's really cool about Dogfish Head merging with the Boston Beer Company, Sam Adams, is that of course they're gonna make tons of money, whatever.
Yeah.
But what's really cool though is that they're going to be able to now have this platform and also develop and have the technology, share the technology with.
And go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care.
like it also like that could be just like what they've said, and it's more like just Boston Beer Company saying we're gonna buy this shit, we're paying you off,
I think. So the Boston Beer Company CEO, his name is Dave Berwick.
Mhm.
Okay, I think he just wants to have an empire. I think that's the whole thing. You know,
okay.
I think he just wants to. Create a very successful business. I think he wants to be a titan of industry, which he is, obviously, because he's throwing around millions like it's nothing.
I mean, is that no? I think that was calculated. I think they could have bought.
They could have bought a lot of different ones.
Yeah,
but they're tossing out dough.
Yeah,
like
of course.
crazy.
Well, with that type of merger though, and that type of following, it's very smart.
What I mean, it doesn't give them access to markets they don't have access to. You
Mhm.
know, like I don't like besides the volume of production. You know, like I don't see the inherent upside. You know, these are two breweries that geographically are. Delaware is close to Boston. Very close.
Yeah. It makes a shit ton of sense.
I think it just creates a bigger. It might allow them to make bigger moves in the future.
Mhm,
Maybe capital influx. A larger capital base, but I don't know. Like when you think, some places they'll, Tata Motors will buy like an American car company or something, so they have better access to American markets.
Mhm.
Things like that. Toyota did that. I think they bought Chrysler, if I'm not mistaken. I totally fucked that up. No, they didn't.
American.
Yeah, no, never mind. That was wrong. But foreign companies will buy, domestic to get a foothold in markets.
Well, of course,
right?
It's a smart move for Sam or Boston Beer Company. It's very.
I think
smart.
he's just trying to make a big as fuck company.
Well, clearly, duh.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry.
well, duh. I mean, like literally, like they're buying a fucking awesome, successful. Fucking brewery, like
they are.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have that, which is great.
Okay.
One thing I want to touch the tip with is so I
don't touch the tip with. We're touching the tip.
We're playing with the tip.
You got that backwards.
Okay. Is one thing I want to bring up is real quick is that I think I don't know if it was on the city pages. Or whatnot, but there was a Minneapolis biker. They had an encounter with basically someone parking in the bike lane with an SUV. They're in front of Rick's Cabaret.
So in Minneapolis, for our outside Minnesota listeners, we're very bike friendly. Rated number 1, number 2, pretty consistently each year. So lots of bike lanes.
So we have a few. Around the city, there have been bus lanes that is just for buses.
Yeah,
and I think the best way to I guess describe it is like as far as Nicollet, they have bus lanes that is just for bus lanes. You cannot use cars on this bus lane. You have to try different streets. You have to go to different streets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this biker was going down his bike lane, which is designated just for bikes.
Yes.
There was an SUV parked, I don't know if it was a limousine or an SUV parked in front of Rick's Cabaret.
Well, I was reading here, and apparently he's called the police on these people several times.
Okay, so one thing, so when I first read the article and watched the video, this guy is saying, oh man, I'm a victim because what happened is that essentially what has happened here is a man has has biked up to an SUV blocking the bike lane.
Yeah.
So what he does is honk the horn and says, "Hey, get out of the way! I'm trying to, this is the bike lane, right?"
Yep.
So what I'm hearing from social media is, "Hey, this guy got assaulted on his bike lane in front of Rick's Cabaret."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the main headline. Mm-hmm. But what they really don't talk about, and what you see in this video, is this man literally goes up to the behind this SUV, and honks his horn, says, "Hey, get out of the way!" Right?
Yeah.
The SUV is non-responsive. So what he does is he bangs on the back of the SUV. So he makes physical contact with the SUV and says, "Get out of the way."
Yep.
Nothing happens. And I think what happens is he starts backing up, and then what he ends up doing is he starts writing on the back of the car,
Yeah.
"I park in bike lanes."
I park in bike lanes like an asshole.
Like an asshole, right?
Yeah.
So he's
Well, the
putting
thing
his
is-
fingers on the back of the window, drawing this out.
And everything you just described happens over like 2 minutes. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like he's
So
like
there
looking
is
around
video.
and he's just sitting behind this
He's
car.
sitting behind this
Yeah.
bike. So then what happens is...
Like, pick your damn battle.
And
man.
so what this guy does is all of a sudden he gets ice thrown at him.
Yep.
Then
From
he
Rick's Cabaret.
From Rick's Cabaret.
Yes.
Someone from Rick's Cabaret.
Yeah, yeah.
So then he...
Rick's Cabaret is a strip joint in
yes.
downtown Minneapolis.
Correct, yes.
Yep.
And so anyways, so then... So he gets ice thrown at him, then he calls 911. So he's sitting behind this SUV calling 911.
I would like to just interject 2 details here. He's one of those douchebag bikers that carries the Bluetooth speaker with him.
So he was listening to...
He was listening to his Bluetooth, shit music like every fucking hipster in Uptown.
It wasn't shit music, it was Biggie Smalls. So
whatever.
I'm a fan.
Whatever. Okay. Well, but okay, yeah. But so he was listening to his douchebag biker music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Or at least listening to music in a douchebag way.
Yeah.
And he calls the police wasting their time because he's just strung out over this dude biking in a bike lane.
So someone throws ice at him,
Yeah.
and then he calls 911 and says, "Hey, I've been assaulted."
Yes. And the thing is he reads the license plate license plate
Alpha
number.
Niner.
Yeah, you fuck. You fuck. God, get the
Who says
fuck
that, like,
out of
why
here.
don't you say ABV 196?
Exactly, because he
Which
thinks
that wasn't it.
he's a fucking civil goddamn
So
servant.
anyways, so what happens is
Fuck.
he is literally there, right?
For,
someone
5 minutes.
Yep. So someone comes out and does assault him. Someone pushes him down.
Pushes
hits
him down. Yeah.
And I'll be honest. So the guy who does it is a complete fucking dick asshole. The guy who hits him is an idiot, and he's like, "Yeah, I wish you would hit me." Blah 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 blah. Right?
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
So then it escalates.
Yeah.
It escalates to where he ends up. The SUV drives off. The biker has one of those. Extended nightsticks. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So what ends up happening is he does get hit.
See, this is what happens when you don't believe in guns.
And his bike does get taken, and of course then bring back whatever. So here's the thing is, and he does get hit, and so he's waiting for the police, and so here's my
his
opinion.
nightstick. He
Someone
whips
takes-
out his nightstick and it gets taken in like a minute. Not even.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so, my biggest thing that I feel like is one, it doesn't properly represent the story. I'm sorry, the title is for when they had the story on. I don't know if it was City Pages or it was on like Facebook, whatever, right? But
Shitty Pages.
Shitty Pages.
Shitty Pages.
I love it. Yeah.
And the title, and it might be this was actually a story from his perspective. I got beat up over a car parked in the bike lane at Rick's Cabaret.
Correct. So
that's how it's titled.
So, and I've seen,
but
a
it's
few
also
comments.
a story from his perspective.
Yeah, and so to not to not to go balls deep in this story, but essentially, when you put your hands on a vehicle. And
I would have been pissed that he was right on my car. He didn't damage it in any way.
So no. But so he clearly banged down the back of the vehicle, and then he started writing on the vehicle.
Yeah.
All you had to do, man, is you could like this is my thing is all he had to do was take a picture of the vehicle.
Yep.
Send it in to the police.
You can text the cops now.
And literally go around.
Exactly.
Go around, but instead he was being inflammatory. And he was escalating.
He just needed to right the world then and there.
And I would love.
It was an overreaction to an overreaction.
I would love to get this quote right, but you never argue with a fool. And
okay.
And so like you know what I mean, like you never argue. And so like these drunk assholes, clearly it's late at night and they're at a drinking and strip club. You don't pick fights with
over some piddly shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, like you just don't be the bigger man. take a picture,
I'll-
report it,
I'll-
and then hopefully you know why quote unquote stand your ground and escalate the situation. He literally escalated the situation.
If he wasn't looking for a fight, he should have left.
Yeah.
If he was looking for a fight, he should have stayed and he
which-
should have
that's
had
what
the
he
fight
did.
out.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have bitched out and pulled technically, he was the one that pulled
No,
the
no, no, no,
weapon.
no. He didn't bitch out. It escalated to where
he
he needed
pulled
to
a
protect
weapon.
himself.
He
He
pulled a
did pull a
weapon.
weapon. No one else did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no weapon
Yeah.
until he produced the weapon.
Correct.
I will say, personal story. I love biking around the cities. That's one
I
of the
love
main
it. Same
reasons
here.
why
Yeah,
I live here.
yeah.
I was riding home. I was going past Bay Dangers, passing a pretty busy intersection, and this dude is just on my ass. And I'm on a bike, and his bumper's like 3 feet from me. I'm like, "Fuck you!" and I flip him off. And he speeds by, and I'm trying to go around a car, and he ends up going and cuts me off. And I end up almost slamming into the back of this car, probably going like 20 miles an hour. I had to like swerve out of the way because the car was it wasn't parked in the bike lane, but it was just parked in the middle of the fucking road out front of Bay Dangers. And I was like, fuck you. Like, I was so mad at the world. I was like, fucking, if you're going to be in a traffic lane, fucking drive.
Yeah.
Fucking drive. They're assholes.
Yeah.
Fuck Uber drivers.
I struggle because I know a few bikers. I bike, and there are some bikers that like, no, I'm part of the road, and drivers have to watch out for me. I'm sorry, I'm a biker. I need to watch out for cars.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
I'm like that.
When I'm biking down the road, I get as close to the curb as possible.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
But some people, and I feel like that man
That guy is
does
one of
not
them.
believe that. He's like, no, this is my right. And all I can think of is
statue number 794.
all I can think about is Fred Armisen saying "biker rights." Biker rights.
Dude, that's honestly what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah. So
Carrying
it's
a torch for the smallest war in the
it's,
world.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Pick your battles. You know, like, be smart, you guys. Be smart out there.
Just stop. Don't care as much. Just fucking smoke some weed or something, you know? Like, fucking go
talk to my old friend, and he'll
Jesus,
get
exactly. Fuck. Like, who gives a fuck? I see this so often. People carry torches for the dumbest fucking shit in the world. You know? Like, I can't imagine fielding dumbass calls to the city, you know?
So, all right. So, real quick, just a little segue. We are going to talk about Endgame, and there will be a few spoilers.
Yes.
But we would like to kind of get into the main topic. Okay?
Yeah, Endgame. We'll talk about Endgame
at the very end. At the end.
At the very end. So continue to listen, but we'll warn you again.
Let's kind of get into. There's a lot of talk, especially this week, about Uber.
Yeah,
IPOs.
They had an IPO today,
and also kind of like Uber rights, Uber employees.
Uber has the potential to be a big player. You know, they're valued at $80 billion, which, if I'm not mistaken,
so when they opened,
yes, it's more valuable than GM.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
80 billion.
Yeah.
More valuable than an actual.
I thought it was a million.
No, billion.
Billion.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So
I'm not thinking about millions, man. I'm thinking about billions.
Dude, they are going to be one of the most valued companies in America soon. You know.
It's pretty crazy here.
Yeah.
So
full disclosure, I bought 5 stocks today.
Whoa!
Yep. While I was on the toilet at work, I bought 5 stocks of Uber.
I love while I'm at work.
I was on the toilet and I was like, Uber IPO, and I just bought 5 stocks really quickly.
Fuck yeah,
so,
I love that. I love
it.
Yeah. So I feel like there's 2 things that are happening. Finally, Uber has opened up. And they had their IPO out, and so of course making a lot of money.
Yes.
You know,
an IPO is an initial public offering,
exactly,
so allowing the public to buy stocks.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is some controversy surrounding this newly IPO.
Yeah. I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking to some real estate people, and they're like, "Do you expect to come into some money due to an IPO soon?" Because the people that currently own stocks are going to be rich beyond belief.
Yeah.
Million upon millionaires.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are making a lot of
A
money
lot
off
of
this
people,
IPO.
and
Yes.
which is great. So there have been strikes.
Yes.
So
Due to the contrast of these millionaires.
most notably because of the IPO,
Yes.
there have been a few strikes. Now, especially of Uber and of Lyft. I know that there have been strikes in the past
Yeah.
for workers, but this is the most notable that we're kind of bringing up.
Yeah,
So,
it happened across several cities.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I think like California and New York,
Chicago.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what they've been doing is Uber recently cut price per mile down. They have been adding quite a bit more drivers to the system because
Yeah.
anyone can sign up for Uber.
Anyone can
sign
sign up to be
Yeah.
an Uber. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would like to bring up a few points, and not to try to get. We love covering different issues, and I feel like, when we bring up issues like this, like, we could talk hours and hours and hours about these specific issues. I feel like we're in limited time here, and so we kind of try to just hit up a few important kind of bullet points. So I know that there were strikes about wages. Like, so
Yes.
I feel like the biggest...
It's not wages, it's payments.
So payments, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think the biggest argument that you hear is that, oh man, Uber, the company, is making so much money, but as a driver, we're not going to get any piece of that pie.
Yeah.
We are not being compensated.
This incredibly profitable, incredibly rich company
Yeah.
is not providing for us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And so, so that's where you will have various opinions as far as
There's a whole thing where Uber drivers are not workers.
They're not workers.
They are not employees of Uber. They
Correct.
are independent contractors, and that's a major distinction.
Yes, yeah.
For their role there.
Correct.
Yes.
And so most Uber drivers now, and especially the reasons why they are striking is because they want higher wages.
Yes.
Also, though, they want benefits.
Yes, which is a huge cost to a company.
Huge cost.
Huge cost. Yeah.
So now when you so we were doing some research. We were watching a few videos and reading a few stories as far as kind of what Uber with its employees and also this IPO.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
sure, yeah.
And
how the employees and employee satisfaction will eventually factor into their growth as a company.
Correct. And
Perfect.
so you will hear, Uber is making so much money, right?
Yes.
Like huge
Yes.
amounts, right? And then you hear from Uber drivers like, oh man, I'm not making as much money and all of that. And
I'm not making enough money to live.
I'm not making
That's
enough
what
money
they're
to live.
saying.
And so and I think I would love to like talk. I mean, I feel like as a Uber user and a Lyft user,
Yes.
I've spoken with many different Uber drivers. I always ask, hey, how are you doing tonight? Like, do you make good, a decent amount of money and all
Yeah,
that? And like,
yeah.
and I feel like I get very variance answers, but also
Yeah.
ultimately though, I don't hear too many complaints
No.
about
No.
their hours.
Well, the thing is every time I've asked that question,
Yeah.
they always say you got to do bar times.
Yeah.
Because that's the surge pricing is when you make your money.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So the argument that I've been hearing is that I can't support myself with just driving for Uber.
Yes, with it's poverty wages.
Yeah,
or it's
like-
poverty payments.
And so and we actually looked at a few different news sources about like how shitty and how untruthful the Uber driver will make.
the what's advertised by Uber, the driver will make to what that driver actually
Correct.
makes.
But also
Yes.
though, but then when you do more research, you realize, oh no, they actually make a decent amount of money.
It's
Depending.
not far from advertised.
Correct.
The
yeah.
big thing is those advertisements that Uber is doing. It doesn't include taking taxes out of your wages.
Big
That's
thing.
a big
Yeah,
thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's the thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing with. I'm sorry. So the industry that I work in.
Yeah.
There are people who have to provide income, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people who, let's say, are in the service industry, especially like servers,
Yes.
bartenders.
Yep.
There's not there's not that many people that actually do taxes.
Oh yeah, not as
no.
many people claim it as you think.
Exactly.
Yes,
And so I definitely group Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and whatever the same kind of realm as far as service industry, because they are a service industry.
Well, the whole thing is I think about it in one way is has anyone ever thought I'm gonna quit my job and drive for Uber? And thought that was a good idea.
There is a large portion though that I feel like people that they're like, this is my job, this is all I can do. And we have a large in Minneapolis and in Minnesota. We have a large, and I hate to bring it back to race, but we have a large Somali community, and if you notice, there is a large Somali.
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
a lot of Somali Uber drivers.
And
but the thing is, Uber, when they talk about becoming employees of Uber instead of being independent contractors, the thing is if you're an employee somewhere, you can't work whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can't just reap these benefits and then dictate when you go into work. I can't do that.
Yeah.
To have such flexibility in a side gig is incredible.
Yeah.
And for it to pay a modest amount of money, that's an added benefit.
I think, and so not to go full back, but I feel like media is trying to sell this narrative of these people don't make any money. And they're going broke being Uber drivers, and I can't believe that they're not reaping the benefits of all these fat cat bigwigs.
Well, yeah, I hate to use idioms that are used on a national scale, but the whole class warfare aspect of it is kind of pushed a little bit, and they say that if you factor in car insurance, gas, the taxes, the depreciation of your car, you're damn near breaking even. They say it's really more or less a loan you're taking out of your future car, and things like that.
And so my argument is that I used to drive pizza delivery drivers. What's the difference between delivery drivers and Uber drivers? Instead of delivering pizzas, you're delivering people.
Yeah. That's totally true.
And one thing they don't ever factor in, and that's what we discussed, is they're not factoring in tips. You get tips.
They
now.
don't. No. Yeah.
So, and like, I'm sorry.
Do you
inebriated
tip your Uber driver often?
When I'm inebriated, I tip like a motherfucker.
I tip $1, maybe $2.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm
like $1 or $2.
I'm from the service industry, so I know, and I'm a big tipper. No matter wherever I go, I tip very well.
If I like the person a lot, I'm like, that dude's fucking awesome.
Like, I didn't say anything. It was awesome.
I love those. Are my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna sit in the back of your car and you just drive me there. I'm gonna get my phone. Just get me there. That's all I want.
With the conversations that I've had with people, I'm sorry, the Uber drivers, multiple times, I've taken so many Ubers, it's ridiculous. Yeah. They always say, it's my second gig just for another extra income.
Oh, yeah, and that's, I think, that's how it should be viewed. One thing I think is interesting in the coverage through the news here is they're basically presenting Uber as a company with cars. Uber is nothing more than a software company. It connects people.
Yeah. People
with cars, people that need rides. That's it. It's all voluntary after that.
Yeah.
It's like if Zillow needed to be responsible for the apartments that they showed people. Things like that. Yeah. It's a connecting platform. It's Facebook for car rides. In a very 2D sense of the word, I guess. But I think this whole thing is soon to be mitigated due to Uber has the reason why Uber is unprofitable currently. They make money on their ride-sharing service, but they are actually losing money due to their large investments in autonomous driving.
So, and that's I think that's like the biggest point that I wanted to bring up is that so they're saying like, oh yes, they finally have IPOs and they're making so much more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
This money that they're like generating, it's for capital.
Yeah.
And it's for capital for future investments.
I mean, they're getting nicer hookers, but they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't spend it all on blowing.
We're not
hookers,
trying to get
so.
these 2-bit prosties.
Fuck,
We're
yeah.
trying to get, no, but like, and so what they're trying to do is, and so I not to keep continually going to further this, but
to push the business farther into autonomous vehicles as well as flying cars.
so fuck. So
we'll see that.
yeah.
We'll
no,
hit
but,
flying cars later.
So anyways, but that was the point that I was trying to make is that literally they're trying to continue and progress this
Company.
This company
Yeah.
that is providing transportation, and ultimately they want to go driverless.
Yes.
They
that is the absolute
yeah.
plan.
So and I understand like how do you it's so crazy is how do you try to claim stake in a company that is using people
The money you generate
the
to
money-
get rid of you.
Yes,
That's literally what it's doing.
how fucked up is that? You're like, yeah. I'm and so, but
we need you now, but
we need you now,
want
but we're gonna take the money and we're using it to make robots.
I wouldn't say that the drivers are out of line in any way to do what they're doing to protest.
Yeah.
They have every right to do so. And if they get some kickback just for better PR from Uber, hey, good job. You know, you got a couple extra bucks. You know, I think that's fine.
I do think it's the same thing with Ford Motors when they went from humans building these cars now to robots.
Yeah.
You know, and like
It'll be a similar transition.
it'll be a similar transition.
Yeah.
But what's so great though is also though you're creating jobs that will monitor these robots.
Well, the thing is,
but of course it's not going to be a large scale. You have to be.
In looking at the economy as a larger whole, we are seeing it's a removal of blue collar, you know, from American society.
Yeah.
It really is. But I think of, you know, and honestly, what really enthralls me in Uber, and the reason why I bought stock today is because autonomous driving has such a potential impact on American society. When I think about, I came from a really small town of 1,800 people. You know, it wasn't
enough with your fucking small town.
I'm very sorry. Yeah.
Racist asshole.
Fuck. But if you don't have a car, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't going nowhere. Yeah. You're riding a bike around. You know, you're going to the store. You never leave that tiny little small town because you just can't do it.
Yeah.
I went to the North Shore on Lake Superior. Stayed at this hotel, and this lady's like, "Hey, can you get me a ride to the store?" I'm like, "There's nothing for 3 miles from here. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere." Uber could strategically put these these autonomous cars, you know, make them electric with charge pads, you know, like a Roomba. They could change how American society in small towns, you know, forever. You know, autonomy, you know, living autonomy, you know, it's such a crazy thing.
It's almost like bringing this technology to rural areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It takes away a lot of the risk for living in these areas without much, you know, social infrastructure, you know.
I don't want to cut you off, but we recently saw the Uber planes or copters or you know. What are they called?
So if we can go to the Uber helicopters, like
Uber helicopters, and like I saw that you showed me that, and I'm like,
it looked polished.
It looked amazing. It looked awesome. It looked very future.
Yeah.
All I could think of was like practicality. I'm like, so wait. You have these really fucking cool little planes that can get you in there 100 miles an hour, right?
Yep.
But you need to then develop launch pads.
Yep.
How much do those cost?
Yep.
Where are you going to put those?
Yep.
Like, I'm still going to, how many launch pads can you have? And then also, where are you going to create that space as far as going through the air with airplanes and,
Chris, what would they have said when they invented the car?
I love it. Yeah, these horses? Where are you gonna put them? Yeah. I get it.
That is how I see it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
it'll change the way we build cities.
Yeah,
I think. Imagine the IDS Tower having
but here's the thing,
Uber
though,
station.
But and so while researching and listening to all these videos and research and all that, they're talking about how these cities, they're literally not expanding. Horizontally,
they're going up,
vertically. So that
remember when we took the train through New York?
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, we were high.
We were high up, and there was.
I love it.
It was just miles and miles of building. 20, 30 story buildings. Like imagine a launch pad in each one. You know,
which that makes sense, but also that's heavy. That's so much money. So but anyways,
it'll be a hell of a lot quicker.
So also to go back though to my original statement is that they're creating this IPO to gain capital for future endeavors.
For these,
it's
things.
Not like they're literally not like we're gonna sell out. We're gonna make so many millions of dollars, and we're just gonna live off.
Because if they were, they would be. So Uber is not profitable right now. They are losing money each quarter.
Technically,
they brought
to some, but there are a few people who are making money. So
they're making wages, but the company as a whole is losing money. They haven't
because they're struggling and they're competing also with different technology and
they're investing quite a bit of money in these technologies. Growing their business. It's not uncommon for an IPO to be underwater, quote unquote.
And the same specific or a great example is, of course, even though it's very short-lived or a very short, small example is Lyft. How they started off strong and then, of course, they're down like 200 something million, whatever.
211 million.
Yeah. But I don't really see that going down. I feel like it's gonna go back up, but
Yeah, if you think about it, how complicated can Uber be? How expensive can running just Uber be?
Yeah.
It's an application.
It's an app.
It's an app.
Yeah. So to kind of go back to reiterate, I'm totally all for people and fair wages, right? But also you know what you're signing up for.
They voluntarily
there are benefits
came into that role,
and there are negatives to what you're doing. So like if I don't know,
the only thing you can strike, that's fine, but the only real thing is if people stop driving for Uber.
If people stop driving,
you can't just stop for a day. You have to you realize that it's not what you need. I could work at McDonald's still, and I could be mad at McDonald's, for not actually paying me, a quote unquote livable wage.
Yep.
But at some point, it's my fault for working at McDonald's for that long.
I'm going to bring up a perfect example is that how we Americans, we love cheap TVs. We love cheap laptops.
Yep.
Are like we would love to boycott to try to lower these costs and no, it's too much. We're shipping out jobs to different countries, but we love our cheap. We love it cheap, and so that's what's gonna drive.
Well, that's the whole thing about
it's us though too.
Well, think about it. So these Uber drivers, what they've already done, they undercut taxi drivers.
Well, taxi the old system.
That's the whole thing. Is those taxi drivers were put in a situation because these Uber drivers are undercutting them.
I remember. I remember when we were in London.
Yep.
Taking Ubers, and I remember listening to the radio.
Yeah.
As far as they were talking about not renewing Uber's licensing.
Yeah.
Right, and it's because of these taxis. They were. I forget what's it called. blacktop taxis, or I forget what taxi cars, black cars.
We were in one.
Yeah. But they were pushing so much. They were, and like it was so crazy. It's like they were saying, "Hey, they're fucking up our shit." Making sure that Uber isn't, undercutting.
Well, New York, they sell medallions. It's what they're called. It's
undervalued.
Licenses to be able to drive a yellow top taxi.
It's an old system. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is they would pay like $250,000 for them. You know, and then Uber came in. And the value of the medallion bottomed out, and it was one of the worst investments.
Do you like my sound effects?
Yes, absolutely. The thing is it immediately put these taxi drivers in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Just in tens of thousands of dollars in debt.
It's crazy how fast.
An insane thing. And it just goes to show that we would, we could keep these people in their jobs, we can keep them happy, but the thing is society has to come to at least a partial standstill for them. We're basically just saying, hey, yeah, good job, you have a job still.
Being 35, I noticed that life is never constant.
No,
I'm sorry. Even like it's never constant. Things evolve, things progress.
Absolutely.
You're never gonna have that's what's so. And I feel like there's a lot of people who feel like, no, this is my thing, and I'm going to just live this out. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's not how things work now anymore.
I mean, if you think about it, this country's only been around for 250 years. That's 3 lifespans.
Yeah.
Think how different it's done.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Pete. Chris is gonna go
I
take a whiz.
Everyone, yeah.
And we're gonna talk about Avengers Endgame.
And there we go.
All right, Chris is back from taking his little tinkle. His little tinkle there.
Bladder of a 9-year-old.
This man poops 3 times a day. Okay, sound off in the comments on if anyone knows a doctor anywhere.
Hey, just because you're mad at me because I'm regular as fuck.
That's not regular. That's
2
like
poops a day?
That's leaking oil.
2 poops a day. I don't know about 3, but like 1 to 2 poops a day.
That's not normal.
What?
That's not normal.
Everyone needs to comment.
Fuck no, it's not normal
dude,
at all.
1 to 2 poops
You
a
said
day?
2. You almost said 2 to 3.
No.
You do 2 to 3.
No, 1 to 2 poops a day.
Taking hamster shits over here. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to keep that in?
No, whatever. I don't
yeah. So, spoiler alert here. We are going to divulge into Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Marvel's last fucking movie. Or no, I think it's one more Marvel movie.
You know what was dumb was, and spoiler alert as of right now, before we saw it, I actually, they were like, here are the 9 new Marvel movies. I'm like, so everyone lives. like we know they're making more movies now. So it's like, there's a new Spider-Man movie. Okay, Spider-Man comes back somehow.
Well, no. So here's, I believe that what they're going to do is after this, then they're going to just kind of like recreate. How do you like?
They're going to branch back out and they'll come back again.
Yeah.
We'll probably have, obviously, Captain America
comic books,
is about dead.
Comic books. Movies and stories will be forever redoing. Yeah. It's amazing.
It'll be cylindrical.
I like cylindrical.
Yep. Cyclical. Yeah.
Cylindrical.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Trapezoidal.
Yeah. In all honesty, I'll tell you my takeaway from Avengers Endgame. It should have ended at Infinity Wars, which is apparently an unpopular opinion.
Very unpopular.
How'd you feel about it, Chris?
Yeah. So I always joke that I just can't believe that this latest Marvel movie tried to end racism and sexism all in one movie.
You got to pick your battles. Okay. Shit. Fuck.
I'm like, come on, eye roll.
I didn't get the race part, but there was a part in the climactic battle where they're like, it was cartoony, Helm's Deep, battle. And a totally pointless part was they were trying to get the gauntlet. They had the gauntlet from, Thanos' gauntlet, and they were trying to keep it from him. Mm-hmm. And it ends up in the hands of Captain Marvel, who is a woman. Mm-hmm. and she's trying to get it through the enemy lines to a time machine, more or less, right? And she picks it up, and they're like, "Hey, we'll help you," and she's like, "No, we don't need help." And then like eight quote unquote strong women come together, and there's about a 30-second montage of them, fighting, and I was it
all together.
The whole thing is when I saw that, I was like, do I let that take me out of the movie? Society is making this a thing. Can I not just enjoy people fucking other people up? Am I getting too political in watching it? Am I making it too much?
Yeah, man. So there's a few questions that I ask about this, because I remember in the original Avengers, it had the Hulk. Like here's the thing. Here's the thing is like we are making this movie of like the Avengers.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, the Avengers were mostly male.
Yeah,
they were, right? And so that's why it's become so popular, is because of these comic book characters. It's
based on historical, things.
Historical documents.
Well, Thor,
Thor,
God of lightning,
Thor,
Loki.
Spider-Man, all these like mans, and like back in the day, I don't, that's where it's very hard for me to. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around here, but essentially though, that's what it was. I'm sorry that's what it was. You had the Hulk, you had Thor, you had Black Widow, which was cool. They're all together, all spinning around. They're like, this is the Avengers group, and like it was amazing when they're fighting these really cool like in the air fighting Loki, right?
The whole thing is you go there. It's an adult cartoon.
Yeah,
it's an adult cartoon. That's how I see it. So it should be mindless entertainment.
So no, of course, yes, but also though, I totally dig that there are female strong characters. I understand feminism. I understand, and I think.
Explain it to the women.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you, ladies out there, if you don't know it. No, but
ladies, feminism is
no. So I mean, like, I thought this was so amazing. Is I saw a video on YouTube as far as the lie of Disney.
Okay.
And so this video basically said, "Holy shit! This Disney that is running Marvel now is just holy shit. They're acting like there has never been strong female characters."
Oh yeah, true.
And so it's like, no, this is like, I'm sorry, and I think it's so crazy is like they brought up Ripley from Aliens. She was the most badass fucking. She was the female protagonist. Well, she was amazing, and then also in Alien 2. Oh,
yeah, well, the reason why she was so badass in those movies was it was natural. She wasn't being putting up to it.
She wasn't. Yeah. It was so natural, and then also like and what's so great, and I love this, and one of my favorite characters in Aliens 2 was this quote unquote butch. She clearly was lesbian in Aliens 2. And she had, but she had the fucking badass gun, and like she was a strong female fucking character.
Sure.
Didn't even bat an eye. Didn't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, that's what she is. That's what you like.
No one fucking cares.
Who cares?
No one cares.
And that was great.
The thing is everyone they think. I think what people are really trying to do is they hear these stories of the 1960s, the counterculture, the Cultural Revolution, and they want to pretend they're living that now. I think that's a big thing.
I'm curious to know what you mean because I didn't really catch that.
So the whole counterculture, the freeing of the body, the changing of what it meant to live.
The social constructs.
Social constructs. We want to feel like we are living a continuation of that, and that the quote unquote, the Woodstocks, these big counterculture moments, we are experiencing them ourselves. I think it's us trying to live the lives of the baby boomer generation.
Oh yeah.
But we're doing it through conglomerations, corporations, and we're celebrating, quote unquote victories it just seems like we're patting ourselves on the back for accomplishing very little.
I remember before bringing this up, because I knew we were going to talk about this, about the end game. You know, I asked myself, I'm like, not is it detrimental? Is like, I was asking myself, I'm like, okay, when I see all of these powerful women in this movie, right? You know, I'm like, yeah, like, it's cool. I get it. I understand showing these strong female characters, and they can be superheroes too. Like, yeah. I'm fine with it. I don't care. Like that's cool. That's like, you know what I mean?
I honestly, I think, oh, that's just a superhero. You know, it's all fake. And that this is probably the different ways that we watch this, Chris, because I don't care about comic books. You do. You like comic books.
Yeah,
you know, that's your thing. That's your jam. You know, it's cool and shit. You know, nerdy stuff. You like Doctor Who and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, but when I go in to watch a Marvel movie, I go to watch for special effects. And I go to watch for battle scenes. Yeah. You know, I would say my biggest surprise this year was how much I enjoyed Captain America Civil War. But that's because it's like the most libertarian movie fucking ever. You know, that's the whole thing. Like, I was like, oh my God, I agree so much with this, you know? And I love, you know, Winter Soldier is a badass character. But I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed an actual comic book movie. All the other ones, I have not even seen. Thor: The Dark World, I don't care. I don't care about Thor, you know? I wish there was a Black Widow movie, just because a Russian spy with no actual powers and a hot body, you know, that would be an awesome movie. If you made it gritty as fuck, you know, because she has a gritty past, you know? That could be a fucking badass movie, like a John Wick movie. That could be. She could be. Black Widow could have been the female John Wick, and I would have went and watched it.
Love it. Yeah.
That's how I would have seen it. You know.
I would love to go back to like what I started talking about, whatever, you know. But essentially, like, I remember talking about no issues about strong female characters. I have no issues about that. I have no issues about like. I have no issues about Captain Marvel being a female strong character. I have no issues about that. But my biggest issue about this was that they force-fed me this feminine narrative.
Of how underdressed they are.
So here's my biggest thing, and I'm not complaining about strong female characters in the least. What I am disputing is that, and this is getting into a specific about, is Potts. Tony Stark's secretary wife that was very smart and helped run his company. But then all of a sudden she's in a fucking mech suit with Iron Man. Like, what?
But no, the thing is it felt like, you know, in seeing, you know, the force fed, you know, feminism, you know, aspect of it. I was watching it, and there was, you know, a couple ways you can take it. You know, they can say women can be strong too, which obviously we've watched, you know, 30 movies of these characters. You know,
I'd see a She-Hulk movie, but they never made it. I'm sorry, like She-Hulk was fucking Hulk, but a fucking woman. Like, I grew up. She-Hulk. I grew up reading those comics. She-Hulk.
You know they're making a lesbian Batman movie.
Why? What?
They're making a lesbian Batwoman movie. It's Batwoman.
But Batwoman, she never was lesbian. No.
Apparently she's lesbian.
It wasn't Batwoman. It was Batgirl.
Batwoman.
No, there's no Batwoman. It's Batgirl.
There's gonna be a Batwoman.
Why? What?
Apparently she might be lesbian. I don't know. That's what I heard on the internet.
So what?
Yeah. That's the thing. Okay. It's you could look at it both ways, Chris. Are comics a reflection of society, or is society reflecting comics?
No,
you know? Comics reflect society.
No, it is. It is. So with comics, it has always been art imitating life. You know, and it's always a form of escapism. They never had. We've never had this many type of people and ideas.
There's never been this many people that
ideas.
felt oppressed.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
no, not even oppressed. Don't take oppression out of it. Just saying. So I get it.
It's popular to be oppressed right now.
Yeah. I was actually had a conversation with my coworker and how, whatever. Basically, people love to be the victim.
Oh yeah,
Love to be the victim.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to go back, I felt like I was being force fed, and that's what I hate.
Well, when you go into it, and we know what's the character who plays Captain Marvel.
Yeah, why bring actual social issues when we're watching a comic book movie?
Well, that too, but who plays Captain Marvel?
I don't know her name. She's gorgeous, though. I love her.
She didn't want white men to interview her. She didn't want men to put mics on her. Third wave feminism to the top.
Yeah.
And I knew that walking in there. I was like, I'm gonna see her, and I'm not gonna let it take me out of the movie. Because she comes in and like, look at me, I'm this big badass woman. And the thing is it's like, are we getting so political we can't enjoy the most farcical movies that are being made right now?
Here's my question.
Yeah.
I just asked a question without even answering your question.
Yeah, answer my question.
So what was your question? I'm sorry.
Are we so politicized right now that we can't enjoy imagination to the extreme? This is a question. It's a farcical movie.
That's a question.
There's nothing serious about this movie. Just look at the power structures that keep wavering. Thor's new axe couldn't do shit to Thanos without the Infinity Glove, even though we just saw Thor's new axe almost kill the dude when he had the Infinity Glove.
I love it.
Makes no sense.
No, he didn't have all the stones.
No, he had all the stones in the glove.
No,
he just got all the stones.
Oh yeah, but then of course,
he threw the axe at him and he blasted it with his hand.
Yeah,
and the axe went right through it and into his chest. Yeah. And then they fight Thanos without any stones, and Thanos is just controlling the axe, catching it in the air and shit.
Yeah.
Like what the there's for a movie that makes so little sense to have something that is trying to make a statement and make sense in our lives, and it seems out of place.
And that does go into with Disney and all that.
What about Fat Thor?
I love it. I fucking love
Fat Thor. Was the best part of the movie.
The best part of the movie. I
think that was the only real part of the movie I liked.
I love it so much. Fat Thor. I love it. One thing I noticed about Captain Marvel is she had long hair in the movie.
Yep.
And then
short hair.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, is femininity like long is long hair associated with femininity, and is femininity a I'm like, wow, I am totally...
One thing I was thinking in this movie, because I always thought Scarlett Johansson with the short hair was hot as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she's fucking gorgeous,
Yeah.
And then she had long hair in this movie. She had short hair in the beginning, and she has long hair, and it's like red to blonde. Yeah. And I'm like, you are fucking adorable. Like, I would take you home to my mother.
Yeah.
Like she is just absolutely gorgeous.
It
changed my mind on Scarlett Johansson much better with long hair.
Yeah. I feel like is that a social construct, a social view that honestly, you can't be a strong woman with long hair.
Well, I think the reason why you're asking that is because of all these side issues. Yeah. It's like lifting the cover and then pulling it off the bed. I think you can read into a lot of things. I don't think it's worth it though. No, she had short hair. I don't.
She looked gorgeous, whatever. With short hair, but it's almost like they had to put that in there to really.
That's what I'm saying. You're thinking that because of all this side issues.
But I feel like they brought it into the movie, which
it's potentially possible. Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Women make statements with their hair.
Yeah, I mean, and so to go back, and I feel like if people start listening to this and they don't listen to the whole thing.
If you're having to cut your hair to project power, then that's
Well, that's not, no. My biggest thing is like, to reiterate, I have no issue with
Chris. You don't have to put yourself on a cross. You can have these opinions.
No, but also though, it's like, I want these opinions, but also to reiterate,
Don't fuck with my films.
Is just to be like, I hope people listen to me, and like they're like, oh, he's like, I'm 100% fucking okay with feminism. I love strong women. I like, that's totally fine. But when you are trying to sell something and to project something and to
when it takes you out of the experience because you're making a political point,
that's hard for me. It's hard for me. Yes. And it's like, and to go back to just my point was like, we're acting like there has never been strong female characters, and there are, like, and I feel I wish there was more focus on
who else besides the alien chick?
What?
Who else besides the alien chick?
Oh, so the chick from O'Connor from Terminator 2, the mom, she was a badass fucking chick. She was awesome. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Stay away from her.
Like she was a strong female character.
Do you feel the same way you feel about the Avengers women? Do you feel the same way about how women in Star Wars are being represented?
I'll even say this. Princess Leia has always been an amazing, strong woman. Never meek, never anything.
But all the other women in the Star Wars movies, they say they're a little
purposefully. No. They're just like, oh, there's only one strong. But it's like, I'm sorry, there aren't that many characters in Star.
Well, they're saying the men are dumb, cannon fodder in these Star Wars movies, and the women are the strong generals, and they don't tell anybody anything.
No, I don't subscribe to that. I just
what's the difference?
I do feel like.
I think the thing is we feel a political point was made at some point during the final battle.
In.
Yeah.
Star
so the point
Wars,
where
new Star Wars,
I'm talking about the Avengers.
Oh.
That part where they're like, we don't need anyone to help us.
Yeah.
In the Avengers. That was it was the most it took you out of the film almost.
What's so funny is, me personally, I'm sorry, I don't ever think you need a strong man to protect you. Who fucking says that? Who
thinks you're short?
But like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I don't fucking think like that at all. You don't need to.
That biker dude needed a strong man to protect him.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah,
that's honestly.
So to get back, So tip of the topic.
Not tip of the topic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is long. Anyways, to get back to, we should cut that. To get back to our final, spoiler or whatever, talking about Endgame.
Fat Thor was the best.
Fat Thor was hilarious. It was amazing.
That was the only part of the movie I enjoyed.
I laughed out loud so much.
The whole time machine aspect was fucking dumb.
I thought it was cool. That you're talking about quantum.
No. The thing is these people were living in. This was 5 years after. Okay, so they 5 years after they build the time machine. How have people not moved on yet? 5 years.
Yeah.
You bring these people back after 5 years. Your memories of them are going to be different than who they were. It's going to be weird.
As far as
these people are going to come back the next day and you're 5 years older.
So they all have the same memories of 5 years.
Yeah.
Basically, they have 5 years of memories.
They have 5 years of difference between them, and it's going to seem like a day to those people.
Yeah.
How do you not move past?
Yeah, but also though, let's say you have someone you lost, and then to have them back. That'd be nice.
It's a fucking time machine.
If I had my grandmother back, I mean, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, just kind of this. It got real deep.
Personal.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
personal and shit.
I'm
You know,
sorry,
like
Chris.
no, but like if so, I get that. The
But it
people
was
you love.
5 years.
It's 5 years. Get over it,
How,
Chris.
how are people so? It was PTSD they were showing, you know. And I will say the one relationship that was discussed, you know, of course it was a gay relationship.
Thor and
No, yeah, Thor, yeah, Thor and Hulk. No, Captain America in the support group, you know.
oh yeah,
Yeah, encouraging, you know, two dudes going on a date. I was
Yeah.
like, of course it's gay, you know.
yeah.
And then we had the women thing, you know. And then I don't know, you were talking about the race. I didn't see any race thing in it.
Oh, it was with the Wakanda and all of that. Like, I yeah.
I mean,
I remember hearing other
Wakanda
stuff.
in general is a microcosm of, you know,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
specific population, I think. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
it
Awesome.
sucked. It was a shitty movie.
I thought it was
sucked.
okay.
No,
it
it
didn't live up
sucked.
to the hype. It
Time
did
machine
not,
aspect was dumb.
did not live up to the hype. That's it.
Yeah, it
It
sucked.
did. Yeah.
It was dumb. The last fight sucked.
The last fight.
It was stupid.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
It's yeah.
I'll watch it again. I'll watch it again and I'll report back.
All right, well, we'll just cut this
Yeah.
whole thing then.
Awesome, perfect. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
That was a fucking.
Yeah.
That was-
blanking. Yeah.
It's gonna be some editing tomorrow.
Some editing. Get
All
it.
right, we'll see what everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we very much appreciate you guys.
Thank you. very
entering
much
our
for-
world.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have made
Taking
it
some
this
time out.
exactly. If you have made it this far, we very appreciate a subscribe, a like on Facebook,
Even a share, which
a
would be great.
share
Yeah.
would make my day.
Yeah.
How about this? If you share the post, we'll give you a shout out.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know what kind of beer we should drink too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's
Yeah.
hitting up our DMs.
I haven't checked the.
Oh, we haven't checked their
I haven't
DMs.
checked.
We'll get like hundreds of fucking. Hey, you should try this. Yeah.
Well, let us know what kind of beer we should get. We'll definitely try to give our view on it. But this has been another episode of
Well,
That's Your Opinion, man.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
guys.
much. Bye.